Are we ready? Right, lads, welcome to the Snugcast podcast. We're here this week drinking cans as usual, and I am joined as always by my co-host DJ Walsh. How are you getting on, kid?
Let's get ready to rumble. I was trying to think of a really witty, like rumble in the jungle can pun, but my brain is not quick today. So, how am I getting on? Flying it. Had a lovely can with my dinner, and I've had a lovely pre-record can here now. I've actually drank it probably too quickly, because we'll talk about it a bit more later on as to why you should sip this and not drink it as velvetly smoothly as it is. But yeah, fucking delighted it's the weekend, and delighted that we've got a good podcast lined up, one that's close to our hearts and close to the core of every Irish teenager's lunch.
All the hard-hitting subjects.
yeah. So speaking of close to your heart, we also have Mr. Valentine as well on the podcast tonight. Tommy, how are you getting on, kid?
Good, thanks. Yeah, I'm here to spread some love.
Yeah. Well, your Tinder profile will be linked in the show notes later on.
Yeah, show notes, links to the Tinder profile, pictures of me, anything you want. It's all there.
Yeah, OnlyFans, whatever.
Yeah. I'm the only person on OnlyFans who's free.
Yeah. Sale on this weekend.
Yeah. Free subscription this weekend.
I was listening to Today FM earlier on, and there's a chap in Ireland who's on
Kellen Wicklow, yeah, saw that.
Kellen Wicklow, and he's on 60 grand a month on OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get onto this? That is like.
And he has a partner and kids as well, like, do you know?
It was her idea.
Not just a young lad, yeah.
I think it was her idea. Like, yeah. He's 29. But yeah, jeez. Yeah,
but there's no one going to pay to look. There's no one going to pay to look at our gooches, though. Like, is there?
No.
You said it once. You said it again.
Yeah.
We're going to set up only cans and just subscription-based model to view us drinking cans.
just naked pictures of us with a can blocking out our Mickey.
Yeah. So speaking of cans, DJ, what are you drinking?
I'm on a fucking absolute mighty can altogether. It's from one of your favorite series, I think, in recent times, the Kinnegar Brewers That Play series. It's number 12, and it's the Hazelnut Vanilla Imperial Stout. 9%. Yeah, 9%. But like I alluded to earlier, like, it doesn't drink like a 9%er. Like, you actually had one of these last weekend, didn't you? You said to me that you were telling me you recommended it to me actually when we we went to the various offies of Waterford and bought cans in each one, and you strongly recommended this, and it's delicious. It goes down far too smoothly for a 9%er. Like, it's not like for an imperial stout. It's not like in your face, it's just velvety smooth, and yeah, it's very nutty, very nutty. Like, the hazelnut is lovely. It's almost like they've blended a Ferrero Rocher and blended it with a load of ice and blended with a load of ice and vodka, and it's produced this beautiful beer. So I'm actually delighted with it. It's a great fucking can. It's just one of those, like, Kinnegar, they don't do anything wrong. Like, I had the number 11 of the series with my dinner there earlier on today, which was the sour cherry sour, which was also absolutely fucking delicious. So if you come across any of the Kinnegar Brewers That Play series, I'd highly recommend picking them up, because I'm nothing but impressed with them so far.
Unreal. That sounds so good. Yeah, that hazelnut vanilla stout I had last weekend was so good. Like, it's nice. It's like, and it's not too sweet or anything as well, which I thought was really nice. Like, you know, because sometimes, like, it doesn't tip into that dessert stout like that kind of category that we've had over the last while, like, you know. So I think it's a quality beer. Tommy, what are you on there?
I'm on the 12 Acres Make Hay. I'm sure you both have had it in the past, haven't you? Yeah. It's a good solid can. I've never had a bad word to say about it.
I never will.
Never will. No, there's a good balance in it. It's kind of citrusy, you know, but it's not too much of a kick in it, like, you know.
That's a solid one. Yeah. I love their branding as well on that can. Like, it's so simple, like and it just kind of changes like colors really between cans. Like, but
because I actually got this mini hamper of 12 Acres at Christmas from the sister of the owner of 12 Acres randomly, and all the branding's really cool. All their cans, like looks really cool.
Oh, that's class. And then myself, I've had 3 cans. I've had what have I had?
Where am I?
What's my name again? I've had Castaway by Yellow Belly, a classic. I don't need to say any more about that. Currently, I am drinking Harris Pale Ale by Treaty City. Lovely, nice pale ale, quite malty and stuff as well. And yeah, that's a nice solid one. But what I've also had is a can I've never had before, and it is Spotter IPA by Gypsy Hill Brewing Company, who are based in London. And I'll show you the can there. But yeah, this was fucking really, really nice. Really citrusy, like kind of marmalade-y, kind of, I don't know. Yeah, orangey and stuff, like. It was lovely. Really kind of actually reminded me of Yellow Belly's Pirate Bay. That one, like, it was that kind of real nice, like, fresh fruity beer, like. So yeah, really enjoyed that one.
Like that. Is it almost like that tart citrusy as opposed to like the fruity, like?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like, you know, nearly that pineapple-y tartness, you know, that kind of taste, like, where it's kind of like a little bit, it's lovely. So yeah, highly recommend that one.
That sounds class.
Yeah. So
and actually,
Gypsy Hill Brewing Company. Yeah.
I was delighted as well that when we went into Worldwide Wines the other day to see like the flagship beers from Treaty City there, because like they're like, you'd never see Limerick beer or Clare beer down here in the off license in Waterford. So like, it's brilliant to see.
Yeah. And actually, let's talk a little bit about that, because we ventured into the offies as we usually do and had a look around. In our previous podcast, RIP 6 for 15, we talked about the Alcohol Act 2018? Is that what it is?
Public Health Act 2018.
Public Health Act, 2018, whereby minimum unit pricing and the banning of multi-purchase deals on alcohol and the use of vouchers and stuff like that for alcohol was put into place. And we were kind of like, oh, Jesus, sure. Like, the kind of value in beers for like these breweries and stuff, it's going to take a toll, because, like, you know, like, we really enjoy going into Worldwide Wines and getting the what's a 5 for? I can't even remember now. 5 for 16, wasn't it? 5 for 16.
5 for 16, yeah.
5 for 16. Going in and getting, like, picking up those cans and like knowing like what the end value was. But yeah, no, like there seemed to be like a little bit of a price reduction on the individual cans to try and like actually bring us back to.
So do you think that the retailers just taking a hit?
I'm not sure if the retailers are taking a hit or if there's kind of been like an agreement. Like, is there maybe the breweries are taking a little bit of a hit as well? Like, I'm not sure what the story is, like, you know. But And like as well, like, you know, when they were doing that 6 or 5 for €16 deal, like, were they already taking a hit there? Do you know what I mean? So like, if they're just reducing the price of those cans in that range in order to match it somewhat, like it's not ending up being €16 exactly. It's probably like 16.50 or 16.60 or something like that now, like, you know. But like, I think they were probably still the ones, because like that wasn't going to be individual breweries that were giving them those offers. Yeah, sure, it couldn't be, because they were just going to mix and match between all the breweries, like, so they were taking the hit anyway. So I think it's after just reduction in prices altogether, like, yeah. And like, we've seen it in all the off licenses. We've gone to O'Brien's, gone to Arkeen Stores, have gone to Grady's Yard, like, and there's, you know, there has been reductions. So yeah, DJ, what do you think, man?
Yeah, well, you see it there. Like, there's some good offers. Like when we were in Arkeen Stores, we met Julian there. Like Crafty Hopster was €2.50 a can. With the Wolf's core range was €3 a can. But it was interesting. It's interesting talking to like people in all the different off licenses, where they say, like, you know, that with the margins that they're being given, like, you know, for some of the core ranges they can drop it to that price, but then like with the limited edition cans or the collaboration cans, they just can't drop down to that kind of price level. You know, it's just not financially viable. So I think, like, in fairness, what's happening here, it seems like the off licenses are kind of picking and choosing where they can give the best value. And then, in fairness, like, you know, a casual beer drinker is probably not going to reach for a 9% hazelnut vanilla imperial stout. Like, you know, they're probably more likely to go for like a couple of nicely branded standard Wicklow Wolfers, or say, for example, with Kinnegard, they're probably going to go for the Scraggy Bay or the Rust Bucket or the Anarati, you know, something like that, instead of going for an imperial stout. So I can see, like, why, you know, if you want to try one of those bigger imperial stouts, like, you're going to pay your 360, 380, whatever it is. And then if you want to pick up a few staples, you're going to pay your €3 can. And I suppose if you're doing that, then you're like that, you're probably evening out at, like you said, maybe 17, 18 euros, where we would have got it for maybe 15, 16 euros in the past. But I think it's like, I think what's happening there is the Offie's taking a small bit of a hit on the kind of staples, the core range, the flagship ranges, and then you're kind of the consumers taking a hit then when they're going for the kind of rare bits. But even with the plinth, like, it was mainly flagship stuff on the top of the plinth that was the 5 for 16. And when you went for a limited edition beer can, it was normally like more. It was normally in the €5 range for that can. So I think, in fairness, like, you know, if brewers are going to produce limited edition beers, they're going to have to make profit off it. So they are going to have to charge that bit more, like.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably like the model that they're going to go for. And like, it probably shows the establishment of those businesses in the Irish market, of that they've like developed such a core range, and like they're so comfortable with like those flagship beers that, you know, that they can mass produce them, but like they can also retain the creativeness of the craft brewery as well, and like throughout these limited edition like salted caramel stouts and all this kind of stuff, like, you know, that are amazing. And like, that's, you know, that's what you want as well. Like, you want to be able to dip in, like, you know, as in, like, even like same with like me tonight, like, I suppose like in my fridge, like, I have a rake of kind of like different stouts and stuff for the weekend, for the rugby and all this kind of crack. But like, I'm still like reaching back to the Castaway like immediately, like, and that's just like straight into the basket, like, you know. So yeah, no, I definitely think it's a cool approach they're taking for it. Like, Tommy, did you notice anything when you went into an offie or anything like with those kind of prices?
No, not really. I suppose the bold truth is what I've been doing dry January. So I've actually been I've been filtering off some cans I've had in the presses.
So yeah, you've pre-alcohol act cans,
yeah. I'm like the big problem drinker, just fucking buying up.
Yeah. Storing them away,
for years now. I'll be. I have a few pallets out in the shed.
I was going to say the poor fellow's still making his way through his Christmas gift cans, like
price
at the moment.
Yeah.
But actually, Owen, before you move on from the from that topic there, where you're talking about like flagship beers in the core range, we should probably mention just that the craft beer community in 2 weeks' time is having their monthly virtual beer meetup on the 27th of February, and they've got a cracking lineup for flagship February. They've got some absolute killer breweries coming in, and the box, like I think the box of beer and the code to get into the meetup is like less than 50 quid for, I think, is it 12 beers? So that's incredible value, especially at the moment. Was it there 2, 4, 6, 8, 10? Yeah, 12 beers. I think it was like $49.50 including delivery. So if you want more information, you can go on to Crack Beer Community's social media there. They have all the posts up. But I'd highly recommend anyone who hasn't been to one of those. Like flagship February is the ideal one, because you're going to get some solid beers that aren't too mad in that box that you're going to be able to drink and work your way through. And if you do go to it for the first time, I'd recommend pacing yourself every second beer, because the first one I went to, I was absolutely pillared after an hour.
Yeah, like I actually think the proper way to do one of those nights is you share a box where you have like 6 cans each, like, you know, and you know, so you have half a can of the cans each, like, because, and like you see couples come on and do that, like, you're like, God, these people are smart. I'm just getting absolutely smashed off 12 cans, like.
They're smart because they married someone who likes a can.
Exactly. Yeah. No. They love it. So other announcements we have tonight. It's Tommy's birthday. Happy birthday to Tommy Keary.
Thank you. Thanks everyone.
Just to say, his Tinder profile again will be left in the show notes. So
keep swiping.
Yeah. Swipe right. Yeah. And also, we would like to thank Ben Park, one of our Snugcast patrons, for sending us very kindly. He sent us Six Nations beer selection. So 12 cans.
Was that what you got?
Yeah, arrived at the house there. 12 cans of Irish beers from Irish brewers. Nice. With a packet of Manhattan crisps and some salted peanuts as well.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I didn't know that Manhattan did crisps, or maybe that they've just got a big kind of marketing push on them now.
Yeah, no, it's just.
Yeah, I've seen them around lately.
Did you get a few Manhattans in a cash and carry or something recently? No.
In super value.
Super value, yeah.
Big box though, was it?
Christmas they were not.
A pallet, was it?
The sharing packs.
Oh yeah, the sharing.
It was the sharing pack.
Oh yeah.
Super value. Manhattan crisps were they were big in Cork in like the 90s and early 90s, but they were only sold in pubs. You couldn't get them anywhere else.
It was like the King crisps in pubs as well, like, wasn't it? Like
yeah. Or Dennis Irwin used to love a pack of
I don't think I've ever seen a salt.
He used to always have a pack of Manhattan before a match, wasn't it?
At half time, yeah. All the boys would be drinking or be eating oranges, and Dennis Irwin would tucking into a Manhattan.
Fucking ready for the penalties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sure. Before we tip into the second half of the show, I think we'll take a little ad break here, get it out of the way. So Acast are going to shove in an old advert into this yoke here for hopefully for a craft beer company. That'd be great if that's what came up.
It'll either be Smithwick's, Guinness, or Finn Dwyer.
Yeah. So right, I'll see you after this ad. Good luck. Right, welcome back, ye bastards. How are you getting on? We're back from the ad break there. We've had a few cans and pisses and the rest of it. And actually, we were going to go on to our next topic, but DJ reminded me that we need to applaud two boys there from Mullingar. DJ, it's not your man from One Direction, and it's not Brezzy either. Who is it?
No, it's not my good close personal friend Brezzy from Twitter. It's two boys. We always champion the lads who create the beer, but just for a couple of minutes, I want to champion the lads who put the beer in the cans. Because these two lads from Mullingar, they're two school friends actually from Mullingar. They won the top prize at the National Enterprise Award. Darren Fenton and Kieran Gorman. They're from Bevcraft, so it's they're the craft beer canning group. So they're the boys that go around with the mobile canning lines, and they go around canning all around Ireland, but also in Germany and the UK as well. Send mobile canning lines into craft breweries and to convert the tanks into the cans that we enjoy and drink. So I'm pretty sure they do like an awful lot of the Irish craft beer breweries, if not the most of them.
Yeah.
Any ones that don't can their own. And they set up in 2016, and in 2020 they handled 20 million cans, and they expect to handle 50 million cans of beer this year.
So 50 million cans, that is insane. Yeah. Jesus.
Fair fucks to them, like. And I can tell you, like, of the 20 million cans they canned in 2020, I'd say I drank a fair share of them. So
I'd say your stag was probably the majority of them.
There was only pints in the stag now, to be fair. That was pre-pandemic. So, but they're an awful, like, in fairness, like, what a brilliant business idea, mobile canning lines to go around to craft breweries. And, like, I think it solved an awful lot of problems for craft brewers. So brilliant to see him win a big award, and shout out to the men behind the cans.
Yeah. The first time I heard about those boys were when we went down to Costello's brewery in Kilkenny, and we did our interview there with Jared Costello, and he was chatting about him and like explained to us about the whole process, and having to clean out the whole place, and that, like, you have your set time and stuff like that, because obviously it sounds like they're very, very busy, but I just thought it was really, really interesting, like that, like, like the brewery has to kind of clear out and like make sure that everything is kind of clean and ready to go, and then the boys just come in, and like this kind of mobile canning unit like literally just kind of gets like dropped into the brewery, and the boys just go canning away then, like, but yeah, Jesus, like 50 million sounds like insane, but like even 20 million last year is crazy.
Mental numbers.
Like, what's that? Hold on, let's do the maths on this. Hold on now. What's 20 million divided by so say if they're canning every single day is 55,000 cans a day, and that's working 365 days a year.
Jesus,
like, that's crazy. That is crazy.
That's mad numbers.
That's
mad numbers.
Mad, absolutely mad. Like, yeah. So yeah, they must have a few of those canning machines going around in tandem, because you're hardly getting 55,000 in a. Maybe I don't know what the crack is like, but yeah, that sounds absolutely insane. Like, fair play to the boys though. Well deserving of the award. Like,
I will take you out Mullingar.
And actually, yeah, we've always said it as well, that the cans in Ireland as well, like that, those kind of like matte finishes on the cans, like you never would have seen that before. Like, say like the likes of, Heineken and stuff where like it's, you know, printed directly onto the metal or whatever, whereas like these kind of like matte kind of wraps and stuff like is, I think that comes from those Canon boys, which is really, really cool, like, you know.
They're fine. I'm inspecting the cans there now. They're fine cans, to be fair to them.
Fine cans. And they come in a variety of colours. Black, white, silver, the lot.
Different stickers on all of them.
Different stickers on all of them. So our topic of the show tonight is we have become re-enamored lately. With a school and college passion of ours, which is the chicken fillet roll. And we just said
chicken fillet roll.
Yeah, we just said we were going to break it down and just discuss everything that we love about them, what's our preferences for them, what we think the pricing is, everything. Any stories the boys might have, anything about them. So, right, DJ, first of all, I'll go to you, right? You're queuing up in... actually, do you have any preference of a shop for a chicken fillet roll, or is it anywhere? Like, have you had a best chicken fillet roll anywhere, or is there a go-to one, like, do you know?
Well, I have to give a shout out to Centra and Shannon Street, which is where we used to go for chicken fillet roll at lunch in school. A great Centra. One of my favorite things about it was walking down Shannon Street and you'd pass the Old Reliable and Eugene's, two pubs in Shannon Street. So you'd be walking down at what's lunchtime in school, 12:30, 1:45ish, and you'd be strolling down Shannon Street, and you just had the same old fellas every day outside the Old Reliable in Eugene, just roaring abuse at each other across the road. Cigarette breaks. Like, when did the smoking ban come in? 2002, was it, or 2004? 2002, I think, was it?
No, that was the Euro. 2000, yeah.
It was 2004. So we would have been in second year in school when the smoking ban came out. So from first year to be in the junior sort of cycle, I went from going down Shannon Street and just seeing fellas going in the door of these places to having lads outside the door smoking, roaring abuse at each other across the road. En route to so one of my fondest memories of a chicken fillet roll as a child is listening to our lads abuse each other verbally. But I have to say, right, I know, but you know what I love? I love when you just happen upon a place and you're hungry, because it's a great go-to thing to get when you're starving. Like, you know, I'll just have a quick chicken fillet roll here now and it'll see me through. Like, it's been the saving grace of many's a trip. And as well, and I was going to say it provides great soakage for a pint. So
I don't think I've ever had a hot chicken. I don't think I've ever had a chicken roll before a pint.
Yeah.
No, you definitely have.
Starter.
Because actually, no, I wanted to bring it back to our college days. There was a great hot chicken fillet roll in the old bar.
In the old bar, there was actually. Yes, sorry.
So I'd say you've had many's a pint after a hot chicken fillet roll.
Yeah, that is probably true. Yeah, maybe true. Tommy, what about yourself? Have you an area or have you a shop for your best chicken fillet roll?
I'd float around, but I discovered a good one on my travels there a few months ago in Carrick-on-Shore in County Tipperary. There's a good petrol station on the way in. There's a Centra in it, very good deli in there. So I had a very good chicken fillet roll in there, because I think what they did is they just charge you a flat rate for the chicken fillet roll, and I got 3 toppings, or like 3 salads.
Yeah.
So that was my winner.
Yeah, I suppose for me, I probably don't have a standout anywhere. Like, you know, I think they're quite good, but actually I think Tommy.
I say the Centra are a good go-to brand for a chicken fillet roll, to be honest.
And you know what? You brought up a good point, right? Because it doesn't matter about the it doesn't matter about the quality of the chicken. It doesn't matter about the quality of ingredients. It's all about the selection, the quantity of selection. So it doesn't matter. Like, so I'm going to ask you in a minute there on what your ideal filling for a hot chicken roll is, right? But it doesn't matter if you get the same filling every single time. But if they have more alternative options, even though you're not selecting them, you still classify that place as a better place to get a hot chicken roll than anywhere else. Like,
a quick thing on that, I think they should nearly adopt the Subway model per se for a chicken fillet roll. Do you know what I mean? That you're just paying your flat fee for a chicken fillet roll, and however much they can fit in that Cuisine de France shitty bread roll, you know, is what you get. You know,
that is probably pretty smart. Like,
you know, like those rolls aren't big, you know, and sometimes that they're cute about how they cut them and all this kind of things, you know. Like, there's only so much you can actually fit in it, so just pay your flat fee.
And maybe actually as well that they should do, you know, the way with Subway, right? That they do, like, they actually have it like measured out. So say if you get like Italian BMT, it's, you know, 3 slices of salami, 3 slices of pepperoni, you know, 4 slices of ham or whatever the fuck it is, right? And that's exactly the amount that they count out, like, you know, maybe, you know, because like there seems to be quite a bit of variance between like the amount of coleslaw that's shoved into a roll, or like, you know, like,
I say
I'm just thinking
one of the two fillings that I always feel like, and it's maybe not to do with chicken fillet roll, is egg mayo. Do you know, there's a couple of fillings if you're getting rolls that you get bad value from, do you know, like egg mayo, beetroot, what else? Sometimes with the sliced peppers as well, you can get bad value if they're adding them to a roll. Just
what that they'll charge you for a filling, is it? And then
that they'll charge you for it, but there's only so much of that egg mayo that they can get in. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes sometimes it's just hanging out of the roll. Do you know? That's what I find.
I think as well, like, you know, with the chopped peppers, like they chop them up real fine, and then all they do is sprinkle a few on at the end.
Yeah, but, exactly.
They fall out into the paper.
Exactly. Like.
No, that's not a filling. That's a garnish. They shouldn't be charging you for that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, boys, what's your order? What's your order? You're going up to a counter. What's your order? You're getting a chicken fillet roll. What's your order?
Well, like, I think what we should do is like straight out the classic. We need to say what the classic is, and then say like, maybe are there any good like variations on it? Because the classic is just chicken fillet roll, coleslaw and cheese. Like, I think that's nearly like the standard go-to.
I wouldn't say that's the classic, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. It probably would be my order, but I'm not sure if it'll be the classic. Like,
the classic.
Actually, before we go on, should we clarify for overseas listeners? Because I think the chicken fillet roll is fairly unique to Ireland.
Yeah. Sorry. Go on ahead, dear DJ.
I was just going to say, like, you know, just for overseas listeners, like, Irish cuisine is basically spuds and a chicken fillet roll. And this is a breast of chicken sliced, put into a bread roll with a variety of our selection of fillings. And I think it's really, really important to make that distinction, because like people who might be listening to this in various parts of the world where like they've got like fine cuisine, like they've got sophisticated food, and we're talking about the chicken fillet in a bread roll. But that's what we mean when we say chicken fillet roll. And I think as well, like,
I think we also need to clarify that this is primarily sold in petrol or gas stations around Ireland.
Any old garage,
any old kind of garage, petrol gas station, and then pretty much any kind of good like high street kind of shop, like that sells a newspaper and a carton of milk should also have it, like, you know.
it goes hand in hand with either fossil fuels or penny jellies.
Yeah. And you're more likely to have one the closer you are to a school.
Yeah.
or a building site.
But yeah, I think what were you going to say was what you would classify as the classic, Tommy?
I'd say the classic would be basically white or brown roll, lettuce, cheese, butter, mayo, and then obviously your chicken, whether it's plain or spicy. That'd be what I would think is the classic.
Right.
Yeah. So actually, no. I probably would agree with Tommy that it would be. So your classic is. I'd say white.
Yeah,
bread.
white. Yeah. White. Yeah.
White bread. I'd say. So then it's butter or mayo is the classic. Do you know, as in because it like and maybe butter and mayo. I don't know, butter.
I tend to always go for the butter and mayo.
Yeah.
No, the classic is to be asked butter or mayo and say both, please.
Yeah. And yeah, chicken and cheese. Yeah, everyone has to throw cheese in, it's except the lactosers. But like, I'd say that is a classic. Like, I do think, because I always find so I'll go with my ideal first, right? My ideal is actually DJ's ideal, or is the classic, I suppose, of chicken, coleslaw, and cheese. And I always find it a bit weird when I go up and they go like, I go, can I get a hot chicken roll, please? And they go, yeah. And they never ask you white or brown. They just take the white roll out, And then they go, do you want butter or mayo? And I go, just a little bit of coleslaw. So this actually brings me back to my other point of I've had to refine my coleslaw order because of the dolloping of coleslaw that happens, whereby they nearly fill the roll with coleslaw before they put the chicken even into the thing. So I've had to clarify it now that I always say, can I get a small bit of mayo or a small bit of coleslaw, please? I have to say please because they're very kind people, but I have to clarify that so that they don't fill the fucking thing. And then so then actually, sorry, the next question then is the chicken. Do you want plain or spicy? So I'm a spicy man. What about the two of you? What do you, DJ? What are you?
I think
you need a bit of spice in your life. Like you need a bit of
if you're buying a chicken fillet roll, like chicken fillet roll, you need spicy. Or I do love southern fried. If a place is offering southern fried, so this, when you spoke about variety, Owen, I think you hit the nail on the head. But I think you misguided in terms of the variety of quantity of
chicken as well.
Fillings. I actually think it's chicken. A top quality place will have plain spicy or southern fried chicken, whereas like low grade
or popcorn chicken or popcorn chicken sometimes goes in.
That old popcorn chicken's more fucking crumbs than anything, like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Popcorn chicken isn't a chicken fillet, so it doesn't become a chicken fillet roll then. Like that's a separate roll.
Sorry. Yeah, that's a different roll. Sorry. Apologies to the listeners.
That'll bring us down a different roll into popcorn chicken and wedges rolls with ketchup. But we're not here for that conversation.
That's going to be next week's episode, is it?
Yeah. That's a different conversation altogether. Look, we get into hungover rolls when we come to that point. But I think like that's how you define your classy establishments from your rundown joints. That's what separates your Phil Grimes from your I actually don't want to badmouth a pub on the podcast. Well, hey, I know what you want to say. That's what separates your Phil Grimes from your beer keepers. Is the fucking those that do plain are spicy, and those that do plain spicy or southern fried. But I agree with you on spicy. But if southern fried is an option, I'll go southern fried. And I think, coleslaw, you've hit the nail on the head with the coleslaw. And I have a theory as to why you need to specify a small bit of coleslaw. There's only two types of people that ever fill your chicken fillet roll. They're either a student who doesn't give a fuck and will just scoop a heap of it in, or they're the Irish granny auntie type person who is just is intent on overfeeding the entire population. So I think that's why you make an excellent point about the coleslaw. You always have to specify that small bit of coleslaw, and it's because of the demographic of people feeding us from the deli counters of Ireland. We have to refine the quantities so that we maintain the quality. Otherwise, the coleslaw just overwhelms the chicken.
Tommy, what about you, man?
Too much coleslaw means the cheese doesn't.
Yeah, no, you're dead right. Tommy, what about you? Are you sorry, I never asked your filling. What's your filling now?
I kind of mix it up sometimes. I kind of go for the spicy chicken. I'd go for butter and mayo just to be weird. Lettuce. I'd get cheese, red onion, or sometimes I'd see if there's a pickle or something as well, just to
fuck it up altogether.
Yeah. That'd be about it, really. Do you know?
Yeah.
I'd never go for coleslaw or anything like that. No, I wouldn't.
Yeah. I used to be a big fan of stuffing.
But again, half the stuffing would fall out of the roll.
Exactly. Yeah. But then there's also kind of a little treat at the end. Then, when the roll is finished, you can eat into the paper. Then, afterwards, tuck into the paper.
They should make the paper edible. Do you know, those remember those banknotes in school? They were those, you could eat them.
Jesus, those were horrendous.
Jesus Christ. How are we even allowed them?
How are we still alive?
Imagine trying to bring them onto the market now.
People are giving out now, about the vaccine. You don't know what's in the vaccine. We were horsing fucking banknotes into our mouth.
That we were more at risk going to a birthday party at the age of 7, at the goodie bag going home, you would know.
You can catch anything off that, And go on, Tom, or go on, DJ. Sorry.
No, go on.
No. I was going to move us on to pricing. What do you think the price of a chicken roll should be?
I couldn't see it going past €4. Do you know what I mean? I'm kind of thinking a base price of €2 for the chicken fillet roll, for the chicken fillet, €1 for the roll, and then €1-ish for the garnishes. That'll be my rough breakdown, and just have your flat fee. So around €4, that kind of.
I'd agree as well. And you were saying earlier on, the two Johnny's podcasts as well was kind of heralding that as well. So I think they probably have a spot on. DJ, would you contradict that, or would you?
So the thing is, you never just buy a chicken fillet roll in isolation. So that's one of the. So that's why I think you need to feed into the price and talk, because I think what needs to inform your price is what accompaniments are you going to have with your chicken fillet roll. So
right. So I actually have accompaniments as a separate topic, but
right. So what I say is
base price, right? If there was no deal in place, right? What's it? And you only had to go for some unbeknownst reason you were just getting a chicken fillet roll, no drink, no accompaniment or anything like that.
My brain is struggling to bring me to it.
I've never done it. I've no reference.
I've got 30 years experience of buying chicken fillet rolls as part of a multi-pack deal. So, look, the Public Health Act 2018, maybe I need to change.
It can't be part of his deal. You can't use your Tesco vouchers either for it.
For some reason, the moment you said price, my head went to $3.95. I don't know why, but I'm happy to round it up to Tommy's €4. So like I think somewhere between €3.95 and €4.
The sweet spot.
Yeah.
€3.97.
Well, yeah, there is a risk though that like everyone, like if there was a maximum pricing guide on chicken fillet rolls of €4, that everyone would just round it up to 4, because the way sometimes you do get one for like $3.50, in just some random fucking place in like Enniskillen or something like that, and you're like, oh, this is like absolutely brilliant. Like you see him putting the sticker on the roll like to close it, and you're like, oh, brilliant. Whereas I think you might lose that, like if everyone goes €4.
It was a flat one, because then it just kind of loses the kind of quality across the board,
Yeah.
Do you know what? Actually, it was last week. We went for a coffee, and I was a bit late, but I decided I had a big urge for a chicken fillet roll, so I actually went up to Dunn's afterwards and got one.
Oh right,
so I think my chicken, and I was really surprised at the pricing in Dunn's. So firstly, they must have had some sort of falling out with Cuisine de France, that they weren't using their rolls. So that they were using these soft rolls. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But
it's either that or they never put the Cuisine de France in the oven.
I'd say so. Yeah, could have been that as well. But my chicken fillet roll was $3.25. And that was with 2 toppings, or like with 2.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's good value.
Yeah,
that is good value. Yeah. Shout out to Dunn's, our new sponsors.
I was thinking there as well, just to throw back to an old Snowcast episode. I like the idea of $3.95, because if you had two €2 coins on you and you went in for a chicken fillet roll, I like the concept of you getting handed a roll and then someone just handing you and going, and the strawberry.
Strawberry, yeah. You just get a little bit of a sweetie, like, just to finish yourself off, like.
Yeah, it's savoury and sweet, like.
Yeah.
So DJ, going back to you then, right? We're going in. We've gone up to the counter. We've gotten the hot chicken roll, and they've slapped a sticker on it, right? And you have it in your paw now, and you're on your way to the till. What do you pick up en route to the till?
So again, I think like there's no straightforward answer here. And as you said, we've had like we've fallen back in love with the chicken fillet roll recently. And it's a different time to be purchasing a chicken fillet roll than it was back 15 years ago. The main reason being there's much more like variety in terms of like chocolate and crisps and drinks that you can buy now compared to what was on offer in Irish Centras 15 years ago. So like 15 years ago, the classic was chicken fillet roll, packet of brown hula hoops, and a Ribena or something like that, a bottle of Ribena. That was like the quintessential lunch, before you go off and play a hurling match or something, whereas now I feel there's two main differences. I have more money now than I had when I was 15, surprisingly enough. So I feel like I can buy like a nice posh packet of crisps. So like I absolutely love at the moment the hickory smoked O'Donnell's crisps, the brown packet. Yeah. I'm a big fan of those. I think they're like, I love a savory crisp, and doesn't get much more savory than that. And I'm a big fan of the Vit Hits at the moment as well. So I like the green Vit Hit. So like at the moment, with this re-falling in love and my newfound wealth, I like a brown packet of O'Donnell's and a green Vit Hit to go with my chicken fillet roll. But I have to say, like, the classic in school would have been like brown hula hoops and a Ribena, or if you ended up like, if you had a good day in the bookies, like we used to go to Haggett's Bookmakers.
shout out to them.
The other sponsor.
Yeah. 15 years ago, like
Dunn's and Hackett's.
Like you get a chicken fillet roll in school or in Central 15 years ago. Chicken fillet roll and a drink would be $2.95, and a packet of crisps. So you'd have €1 left over for a quick bet, a quick euro on a horse, like on the way to get your
way back to school.
Yeah, no, you pick up the Hackett's on the way to Central, because then if you picked up, like, you might put 50 cents each way on something, and if it came in, you get like €4 back. So then you had a few extra pounds. So if your horse came in each way in Hackett's, I would always like, you know, the big packet of Johnny Onion rings, and then one of those Oasis drinks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were always kind of like a bit fancy.
Oasis, yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, so like you know if a fella won and it's 50 cents each way on the way down to Centra if he had Johnny Onion rings and a bottle of Oasis. But the brown hula hoops and the Ribena was the classic combo.
Jesus, that's a good one, all right. Tommy, what about yourself?
I suppose, yeah, again, I suppose I'd go for those Tato the wafer crisps. They were a classic with it, and a milk. The milk was a classic, you know. Yeah. And then the paper Sundays, you know, dirty, like the Stars on. Look at a few women.
Page 3,
Page 3, yeah.
It'll just be open for the whole lunchtime.
Yeah.
Be no other
shared around.
Shared
around. Sit in the wall.
I think I was along the same thing, like of getting the carton of milk, the 500 mils of milk. In fact,
it was always good value, I suppose, like the milk, you know.
Yeah, sure, it was only about 80 cents or something.
Yeah.
In fact, I got it like last week as well, like so.
Oh, you did, yeah.
And I think that was just a throwback to that time. And I think for myself, then it tended to be it still tends to be like either a packet of crisps or a chocolate bar, and it depends on what mood I'm in. Like, so I think now I'd probably get one of the O'Donnell's cheese and onions as my accompaniment, or then I'd get like a double decker or something like that. Then the other way, like, you know. But you definitely do need something else. Just kind of go with it, like, you know. It's even though it's about fucking probably 1,000 calories or something in the chicken fillet roll, like, you probably just need that extra bit just to top yourself up altogether, like, you know.
That sugar rush.
And I suppose, DJ, you kind of went through. Do you have any stories about chicken fillet rolls throughout the years or anything? I'm trying to think of myself too. Like, we used to always like, we were saying that, like, earlier on in the week, we were saying that like that, like, we'd have like that nutrition is such a big thing nowadays with kids, like, and that you know, there's such a focus on making sure there's a balanced, healthy lunch on everything, like, you know. And like, when I think back on my secondary school days, like, I was down to that same, like, newsagents every single day to get like a hot chicken roll, and then on the days I wasn't there, I was going to the chipper to get a chip and 2 battered sausages, and the days I wasn't there, I was going in to get a 4-in-1. And the days I wasn't there, I was going into Domino's to get a pizza. Like, there was absolutely no.
It was a vicious circle, yeah.
Vicious circle, like, there was, you know, like, they were my 4 lunch options for 6 years of school. Like.
Yeah, like we had this fella that used to come to the school and open like a little mini shop. There was this little alcove by the home ec classroom that you had to pass on the way out, and there'd be the queues of the people who'd be going to Jerry's shop, it was called. This fella that owned a little grocery store down the hill from the school, and he used to just bring up all these like rolls and chocolate bars and stuff, and similar to like the story you told about, was it not brother Tom, and the strawberry story, you know, if you're buying off the school shop.
Yeah.
But so he used to set up, but I used to never really go for Jerry's rolls. I always like to get out of the school, like, and go for an old stroll.
Yeah.
And similar to what you're saying, like, for us it was central for the chicken fillet roll most days. But again, like, if you had a really good week in the bookies on a Friday, you might stretch out. And there was Murphy's Chipper, on John Street, I think, there in Cork. I think it's on John Street, but Murphy's Chipper used to have a couple of different things that you'd go for. One of them was called a sloppy Foley, I don't know where they got the name from, because it must be just some fella called the surname Foley that came in and came up with it one day. But it was like this big kind of bap, and it was like a sloppy Joe basically in America with the like Joe the beef.
Oh yeah, the minced meat, like ground beef,
yeah, that kind of thrown in, but there'd be chips underneath it as well, and
Jesus.
like it was this like absolute mass ball of like cholesterol and heart attacks. But we were young at the time, like, so you'd have no fear of it. Like, you might go to Murphy's if you had a good week in Hackett's, and get a sloppy Foley. And there were a few good bits. Like, I was lucky, I went to school like on the outskirts of Cork City, so like you were never too far away from Anton. And like, I suppose that was it. But I saw like good stories about chicken fillet rolls. I tell you what, Owen, you know, not to go on about the school days too much. Before the pandemic kicked in and the deli counter and Arkeen store shut down, I always felt like I made it when I'd get a chicken fillet roll in Arkeen stores, because you'd have this artisan roll and you get like pesto mayo, a chicken fillet, cheese, and maybe some coleslaw or something as well. But it just always felt like a posh chicken fillet roll.
And what did the chicken roll kind of cost there? Was it like...
I actually think it was very reasonable, wasn't it?
Like €27 or something. No, I think like you'd get the like chicken fillet roll for like $4.20 or something like that.
Yeah.
Which wasn't too bad, because in fairness now, like the chicken fillets were fairly big, like, and they'd be nice. They packed the rolls heavy, like, you know, so you were getting fierce value for money in the roll, to be fair. You were getting it was nutrient dense, shall we say.
Yeah.
But that was a good. They're actually great chicken fillet rolls. I haven't had one now since pre-pandemic. But the one thing I will say, right, we used to do this. We used to go through phases in school then, where you'd go down to that same centre, pass by call into Hackett's on the way, pass by the the few lads that be outside Eugene's and the All Reliable roaring abuse at each other. And what we used to do was get the deli woman to butter just a plain cuisine de France roll. And then we used to buy various packets of crisps to fill the roll with from time to time.
Yes, yeah.
So you'd like, say like on a Monday I might get Monster Munch and you might get fucking Chickatees and you might get Wheelies, Tommy. And then like you'd eat it and then you'd come back the next day and I'd get the Wheelies and you'd get the Monster Munch and only get the Chickatees. And then you'd like compare and contrast.
It was like the Eurovision, was it? Or...
But you know, like another great Irish cuisine is the tato sandwich, and it was basically like the maize crisp roll, like that we were trying to fucking just mix and match, and they were great. Like they used to be great ones. Were like, you know, or another great one used to be get hula hoops, get them to butter a roll, and just put that in tin foil and give it you. Get a packet of hula hoops, and then just crush the hula hoops with your pan. And then just like literally poured out into the roll.
Jesus.
And that was another classic. They were the kind of non-chicken fillet roll associated lunches that we used to have.
It's gas. Like I'd be laughing at me dad. Like my dad would be saying, like when he was growing up, that you know, they go for a big day out to Tremor or something, and they'd have sugar sandwiches, you know. Just a spoon of sugar between two slices of bread, like, you know. But like literally we've done the exact same thing, just different processed food, like, like years later, like, you know.
Yeah. Sugar sandwiches.
Sugar sandwiches with added MSG.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like the jam sandwiches. I used to have jam sandwiches sometimes, like, do you know what I mean? It's
jam
just coloured sugar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tommy, do you have any chicken fillet roll stories or?
No, but I'm not sure if you remember. A friend of ours was telling us about how he used to get some odd things in his roll. He used to get a chicken fillet sausage, egg mayo, and then egg. Do you know, like, as in.
Oh,
all the one.
Oh, actually, one of Kira's friends used to get so this isn't chicken fillet related, but it is deli related. But she used to get a sausage roll in a roll, no butter.
Right.
Like
No butter.
Imagine how dry that would be. So like,
what was she getting out of that? Like what?
Like a flaky pastry sausage roll inside of a bread roll.
I was only thinking actually, like putting a sauce, like if you fill the roll with ketchup or something, it might be nice. Actually.
Yeah. You're kind of half thinking about it.
Yeah, I might try it out tomorrow.
Well, yeah. She said she used to get some looks as well, like like going up to deli, like, sorry, can I just get a plain roll and just put like 2 or 3 sausage rolls inside in the roll?
I'd just be mortified. I just buy them separately.
Yeah. No, I think she was asking for it in it, like.
Jesus.
But that's like there's some things that I tend to get when I'm hungover, and if I if I really need something to eat quick, like I just need carbohydrates to just fucking get my sugar levels up. And a great one is just a roll with wedges and ketchup in it.
Yeah.
You ever have that? No.
Well, like I've had like the chip butty, like, so I don't think I've ever had the wedges in a roll one, but I have had like the classic, 2 white bread sandwiches with like chipper chips in them, like, that kind of chip butty, like beauty. Yeah.
Joe, it's a big.
I think that's a different podcast altogether.
Yeah, just to touch on that. Joe, it's a big thing in Cork is curry peas and chips in between 2 slices of Brennan's bread from the
curry peas.
Yeah, curry peas and chips. You get like mushy peas in the chipper. They have like mushy peas in the chipper
with a curry sauce.
Chips down, scoop the curry sauce on, scoop the mushy peas on, and then you take some of the chip peas and curry and you put it on Brennan's bread, buttered. Another slice of buttered Brennan's bread.
I'd actually say that's delicious.
Fucking amazing. It's so good.
I say I'm always a big fan of mushy peas, actually. Like, a lot of people don't like them, like, but I'm a big fan.
In the right setting, they're great. And do you know what, actually, I think this, so we need to I need to get in touch over the weekend with Shane, who was on last week from Craft Beer Teas. I'm actually wearing the Ballyclacabin Brewery sweatshirt this evening, lovely sweatshirt. But I must get in touch with him for the shop local to see who won the prize. But the other thing as well, though, what we need to do is we need to get listeners, lads, if you're get in touch with us on social media and let us know your Chicken Fillet Roll related stories or similar lunchtime food related stories. Like if you're in the UK or the US, like what was your classic lunch? Let us know and tell us any stories that you have about it.
Yeah, because it's funny from like, obviously I lived in the UK for a couple of years. Like I'd imagine, like, obviously school meals were obviously a big thing. Like they all went to the canteen, but like lunch options, like, were just literally go like get the meal deal from Tesco, like, just those shitty sandwiches.
Where in the UK?
Like the UK, like you just go to Sainsbury's or Tesco or like that. They all have the same shitty meal deals, like.
Yeah.
Sandwich, drink, and crisps, like.
But yeah, then contrast that to here, where, like, for us and for all the schools in Waterford anyway that we know of, there was no lunchtime options, like, in school.
No.
Like we I think in our 5th or 6th year we were able to get the rolls from the same place we used to walk to get the rolls delivered into the school.
Yeah, made no sense.
Like, yeah. But yeah, no. But anyway, guys, sure, look, we'll wrap up the podcast there. That was a good chat about the old Chicken Fillet Roll. I think we've probably discussed our definitives there on each of the options, like. So before we wrap up, again, I'd like to thank all of our listeners for joining us for the podcast and for supporting us on Patreon. You can do that on patreon.com/snugcast. And yeah, don't be afraid, lads, to send us any topics or anything that you'd like us to chat about. You can reach us on Patreon, and you can reach us on any of our social medias. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're Snugcast on all of them. And you can also email us on thesnugcast@gmail.com. And yeah, DJ, any party warners there?
Yeah, so a friend of ours passed the pod on during the week, even though she doesn't listen to herself. She described the podcast to someone she was talking to as, it's just the lads drinking and talking shite, which I think sums it up brilliantly what we do. So yeah, I think if you know someone who would be interested in listening to us talk shite, just let them know, send them a link and pass the pod.
Yeah,
and tune into the Irish Design Podcast.
Yeah. I was just about to say we introduced Tommy earlier on, and we didn't actually flog anything for him, but Tommy has a timed auction.
You were just flogging myself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Tommy has a timed auction running at the moment, which actually will probably be ended by the time this comes out. Like, so there's probably no point in me even talking about it. But you can reach Tommy on Antiques Ireland, or you can listen to the Irish
Design Podcast, and there's another episode coming the end of next week, so keep your eyes or ears peeled or open for that, I suppose.
And if you would like to personally flog Tommy, you can go to Tinder and swipe right.
Link below.
Link below, yeah.
Link below, swipe right, and you can personally flog Tommy yourself in your own private time.
Great.
Right, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Happy birthday,
yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll catch you next week, right? Good luck and God bless.